Okay, so I'm hoping this will turn out alright. I'm kind of doing a setup I've never done before to do board games, so I hope that it turns out okay, even though I could probably use some more light since I'm not directly underneath the one I usually would have. But yeah, this is Key to the Kingdom, whirlpool of fun, fantasy, and adventure. And it's one of my favorite board games. I got it, oh man, 90 something, I think. I know it's got the date on it somewhere. Let's see. Here's the back. Let's see. 1992. Under license from Waddington's Games Ltd., Leeds, England. Do you think you're brave enough to find the key to the kingdom? You'll be traveling down a dangerous path with only a few well-guarded weapons to help you. And with only each time you venture into the magic whirlpool, the game board unfolds and becomes a whole new land of guarded secrets and hidden perils. Jump into the magic whirlpool, the game board unfolds. Beware the Demon King. He's following right behind you, and he'll send you to the dungeon if he can. There are mysterious hazards throughout the kingdom, but a simple throw of the die can help you escape. Adventure instructions make the game fun to learn and easy to play. Each adventure game lasts about 40 minutes. Or a long time if you're chasing people. Because that's one thing, if a character, picks up the treasures, you don't know who's got the key because you don't reveal your treasures. So, if you don't have the key, you'll most likely go after somebody else who you think has it and try to get back to the start. It's also got really good art on the front of it. Got this guy that looks like he's from Disney. Let's see. And the board comes in 2 pieces too, so it can fit in here. Now, my original die that I had for this, I lost somehow, but was able to find one that looks exactly like it to replace it. It even has it on the front here. It might be a little more elongated, but it's pretty much the same color and everything. Let's see. This is how the basic board should look. Check to make sure you can see it pretty well. Just a little bit of glare. I'd have to move her down here a little bit farther away from the light so you can see everything. That looks pretty good. Put these over here. Okay. Now each dungeon has a card that you put a treasure in, and it's in a disguised sleeve. Now I had a double of, let's see. Oops. Dang, that treasure fell right up. Looks like, yeah, it was the Demon Castle. I got 2 Demon Castle envelopes to put the treasure in. So I just turned it into the one that it was missing, the Evil Tower. And marked them black to kind of match each other, since they were in white, and it's kind of hard to see. I mean, it's even kind of hard to see behind the one that I wrote it on. And each one of these treasures would go over a dungeon, or at least over here, out of the way until a character landed here. And you'd fight a random monster, and then you'd get the treasure envelope. And pretty much all the treasures just get shuffled between those cards. So they're always kind of different. I even thought about doing more of a hardcore version where, yeah, you fight a monster when you get in here, but when you pick up one of these, it also has a monster in it. And you have to fight that monster to get the actual treasure. And one of the hardest enemies in the game will have the key, and you'll have to be able to beat him. Then there's deep magic cards. That there's a ruins that shows it. Now these tokens were just the middle from the centers of the whirlpools, so it can go through. I usually just have these as kind of voids, in case a character gets, knocked back to start or something like that. Because you don't really die, you just go back to start all the time. Let's see. Adventure instructions for 2 to 6 players. Let's see. Object of the game. The object of the game is to be the first adventurer to escape from the kingdom with the key and one other treasure. The first player throws the die and moves the Demon King to a space bearing his symbol, which there's a bunch of different ones on the top here. Which transition to the other side too, like if you flip this side out, 8, 7, 6, and 5 will be on the inside part. And I think there's a 9 and 10 too. Now move your adventurer the number of spaces that you rolled on the die. You may move in either direction back and forth. The long space above the blue start arrow is counted as the first space, which is right here. Now, let's see. The Cobra card is hidden in one of the treasure card holders. If you have the Cobra card, you are ready to exit the kingdom to win the game. You must go past the snake pit to get rid of it. Talks about black daggers and stuff that you do for the key locations and the monster cards. The dungeons are where if you fail fighting monsters, you can get sent there. Or to the nearest dungeon, I think it is too. But I think it's mostly when you're just fighting somebody in the palace. That's generally the only place you find monsters. And you start the game with a set of equipment. And there's a Wizard of Plenty. And there's even like a play a quick game. If you want to play a shorter game, the key may take on magical powers. When you find the key and one other treasure, try to roll an 8. As soon as you do, you just win. And the key transports you and one other player of your choice back to the kingdom's entrance. And if you have the Cobra card, it just goes back to the snake pit. And it has a list of the bare bones of the game. Let's see. And we got the Hazard Handbook, because all of the traps and puzzles have rules. We have Beam Bridge to the Evil Tower. We have boats, the Bone Pit, Bridge of Glass, Broken Bridge, Cyclops, Demon Castle Moat, Evil Tower Bridge, the Ice Caves, the Living Forest, Magic Rainbow, Ring of Stones, Rat Trap. Yeah, and the Ring of Stones is where you can get deep magic cards. Sleeping Giant, Snake Pit, Spiderweb, Swamp, Tiger Pen, Well of Doom, the Whirlpools, Wild Boar, and Wizard of Plenty. Okay. Here's all the other monsters that can be into these different ones when you shuffle them. You got Minotaur Monster. You got the Battle Ogre. Insectoid Witch. Venomous Vampire. Cantankerous Gnome. Skull-Eating Cyclops. Giant Firebrand. Alien Stalker. Now there's randomly some aliens in this game. Goblin. Putrid Poltergeist. In most of the enemies you get a dice roll break if you have certain items. Like this one. If you don't have a grappling hook, roll the die and move away. So you can't even fight that monster. Deadly Fire Drake. Dreaded Druid. Odious Orc. Mad Monk. Hellhound. Hellhounds are pretty strong as far as I know. If you give it food, it'll leave you alone, but if you don't, you have to roll a bunch and you can lose treasures and stuff. Mutant Scorpion. Dark Archer. Treacherous Troll. Dragon King. See, this is one of the ones I was going to put as like a treasure guardian. Same with the Evil Knight. Voodoo Spectre. Flying Werewolf. Terrible Tarantula. Corpse Master. Swamp Lizard. Creeping Cockatrice. Gargantuan Cockroach. Pit Genie. And Slime Toad. And the treasures are the Rune Sword, the Ring of Power, the Key to the Kingdom, which, look at that key, it's really cool too. The Crown of Glory. Hopefully I'm not holding these too high up. At first I was wondering if I was. Let's see. Oh yeah, the Cobra card. And the Chalice. Oh, there's a bunch of different... Oh yeah, and there's actually a bridge you can build with these pieces. But you have to roll a die, a certain amount of die to build the bridge. And if you go over while you're building a bridge, it kind of... You end up... Like, let's say you get... I'm trying to remember how it goes. But something like if you got 3, you'd build it. But you can fall in some way. Now here's the Demon King. Usually he never catches us, because he has to land on a space if you're on that space. But he's almost never on a space we're on. But we have kind of a lavender purple. We've got a blue guy. Got a gray guy and a red guy. And we got a green guy. And we got a brown guy, which is technically my friend Trace's one, that we nicknamed Poopy LaFoop. I'm usually the blue guy, and Kyle's usually the green guy. Okay. Well, this table is almost not big enough for the whole board, since it folds out like this. Okay, I'm going to show off some of the equipment cards. Because you start out with a sword, a shield, food, an axe, a grappling hook, and then you can get more of it if you happen to. Oh yeah, net too. Net and fire. These are a little out of order. But pretty much you start with one of everything. And you can use it and sometimes get stuff back. Now here's this flipped side of the board that has a Wizard of Plenty and the Cyclops, the Broken Bridge, an Evil Tower, where you can build the Evil Tower Bridge. And this side has the Demon Castle, the Well, the Bone Pit, the Living Forest. But yeah, I love this game. I'll probably try to do a bit of a gameplay of it at some point. It's just that since it takes a while, I don't want to get too crazy with it. But let's see, let's close that up. And I'll take a few turns to show you. Let's see, Banshee Tower. Let's just say the key and the treasure are in the Banshee Tower. And my guy will start here. And let's see, roll the die. 5. Where's 5? There he is. That's where he'll go. And we can play a little. Oh yeah, I probably should get one of these. Sword, shield, food, axe, grappling hook, rope, net. I think that's all of them. And I like how very old D&D style these are drawn too. Oh shit, I almost forgot. There's fire too. Played this in a while, I forgot what all the items are. I believe that's everything. Okay. I might need the hazard handbook. Okay. So I rolled a 5. And he went to his 5. And I can pick where I go. So I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3. I'll move him there. 1, 2, 3. And I'll get to the sleeping giant. I think his instructions are back here. Yeah. Stop on the white dagger. Immediately try and cross to the opposite white dagger in 2 rolls. 2. 1, 2. Ooh, 3. 1, 2, 3. Didn't make it across? The giant wakes up, captures you, and puts you in the Banshee Tower's dungeon. On the same turn, you can try one of the following 3 ways to escape to either one of the black daggers at the Banshee Towers. Have a sword, fire, and axe. Threaten the giant with them. Keep them. Have a net. You can use it to climb out after you roll an even number. 1 roll per turn. Keep the net. No sword, fire, axe, or net. Give up any piece of equipment. So I pretty much have all of these. So even though he took me to the dungeon, I can still escape out to here. See. And we always understood, like, if you came out of a dungeon onto an arrow, you had to go to the other arrow instead of just kind of going like this. I mean, you can, but... one. That's not very much. 3. 1, 2, 3. I'm just gonna cheat a little bit. But it's never really, I don't think very... I think you can just, since you can go back and forth, I figured you could always just do that and go back onto an arrow. So now, we're here at the Banshee Tower where this stuff is. So let's see what monster we fight. Let's try the Alien Stalker. If you have a grappling hook, you must roll 24 or more in 5 rolls to defeat the Alien Stalker and win the treasure. If you fail, you lose your grappling hook, roll the die, and move away. If you do not have a grappling hook, roll the die and move away. So, I'm going to try to get 24. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. I think I wrote right. 19, 20, 21. Oh, 6. There's plenty. So pretty much I'd get this stuff after beating him. And then you just roll the die to try to get back. You know, taking the same perils and stuff. Now let's say I'm here and I want to jump into the whirlpool. I don't think you have to roll anything to go into the whirlpool. There are 2 magic whirlpools in the kingdom. If you jump in one, you have the power to fold the game board in or out. When you want to jump in a whirlpool, follow the stone path to the edge. If there are enough points on the die, jump in on the same turn. You don't need to jump in on an exact count. Let the other adventurers try to escape the world by rolling the die 3 times to get out of, like, the crushing space. So pretty much, if I rolled, I'd jump in. And everybody would have 3 dice rolls to try to escape out the edge before it unfolded, making the game map bigger. And then you can come out, let's see, onto the boats or to here in that whirlpool. And pretty much you'd have to jump in over here to fold the whirlpool back over again. You always have to jump through the ring. But yeah, that's pretty much the gist of it. I'll see if I can do some gameplay on it at some point, possibly with some friends. My flash just went off. My battery's getting kind of low. So, till next time, I'll see you guys later.